more we continue to associate blackness with criminality, the more people are going to be fatigued with us. We need to understand that liberal media is not our friend. As much as we want to believe that these Democrat, liberal, left-leaning individuals and entities somehow have our back, understand they are the ones fueling anti-Black racism within America and the world. If we look at the case that's been going viral of the woman, she was murdered on the bus. I think it was a bus or a train by this deranged Black man. And all of these news sites, they're like, oh, well, we're not going to talk about it because he's Black. Or, oh, if we talk about it, that's going to fuel anti-Black racism. Oh, if we show all of this information, it's going to fuel anti-Black racism. I'm like, you doing that is fueling anti-Black racism. The moment you don't want to hold people accountable because of their race, that's going to make everybody upset and angry. And that's going to fuel racism even more. And honestly, like all of these pro-Black leaders that are out here defending or running interference or not holding this weirdo psychopath accountable for what he did, you're anti-Black too. Because the moment you sit over here and defend our criminals, the moment you sit over here and defend people that have clearly done something wrong, like there's no room for interpretation here. This woman was sitting here minding her business and the man attacked her and murdered her. There's no context you can add to this to make it okay. So the fact that you have Black people out here defending this and saying, well, we need to like, no, that is the reason why I say a lot of these pro-Blacks are actually anti-Black. Because when you don't hold Black people accountable for their nonsense, guess what you do? You put a battery in the backs of actual racists to say, this is Black culture. Black culture is criminality. And they have a logical reason to say that. Because if our community is constantly defending criminals, then yes, the culture is now intertwined with criminality. Y'all allow them to make that connection because you don't hold Black people accountable when they do some nonsense. When you do not hold your community accountable, that allows people to say your community is built on criminality and foolishness and ratchetness. See, if anything, we should be our biggest critics. We can't sit over here and be like, well, you can't criticize Black people, and every time Black people do something worth criticizing, we run interference for them. You make us look bad. You make the block hot. We have to understand that liberal media knows what they're doing, right? They're not stupid. They're feeding into that narrative. Every time they choose not to talk about situations like this, it creates that animosity. Because I can only imagine if I was a white person and every single time the Black person committed an atrocity towards people that look like me and the media didn't want to talk about it and wanted to hide it and, run interference. And then I would be so infuriated because it's like, at the end of the day, all of our lives matter, right? The whole Black Lives Matter movement was to say that our lives matter too, right? So that means everybody's life matters. So why wouldn't we want cases like this to be talked about and discussed? Because if we have an honest conversation about crime, that's going to benefit everyone. That's going to literally benefit everyone if we have an honest conversation about crime and policing and how to get crazy people like that man on the fucking bus, train, whatever, who stabbed that woman. If we have an honest conversation about getting those people about the paint, society in general would be better for everybody. Black, white, everyone in between. But when we have Democratic leaders saying, well, we want to be nice to people that are criminal. We want to give them a chance. We want to give them a chance to do what? This man was arrested, 13 times? Why was he on the streets? That is dangerous for everybody. So I don't want to hear this, oh, it's racist to do. No, it's not. It's racist for you to keep these criminals among the rest of us. Black people kill other Black people all the time. Guess what? A lot of Black lives would be saved if these criminals were not on the streets. You don't give a damn about Black lives. You don't actually care about Black people, because if you did, you would care about us holistically. You wouldn't want our criminals to be on the street so they can criminalize and victimize and hurt and harm us. You would want people that make the Black community look bad out the paint and held accountable. But is that what they're doing? No. Every single time you have some dumb nigga out here defending the worst of the worst. You have Black people out here defending Raja for pummeling that man nearly to death when we all had eyes that we could all see the build up to it. And it's clearly wrong. So all these liberal media stations, all these pro-black leaders, I side-eye the hell out of you because a lot of your behaviors are fueling anti-black racism. Because guess what? If we were holding our ratchets accountable, if we were holding our criminals accountable, they wouldn't be able to say it's the culture because the culture would be fighting back against criminality. But no, we protect our ratchets. We stand in lockstep with our criminals. So what does that say about black culture? This pro-black grift, I'm over it. I'm absolutely over it because I genuinely want society to be better. I want society to be safer for everybody, but it's not going to be safer if we're not having an honest conversation about criminals. Repeat offenders are the reason why they're able to say per capita. A lot of these criminals get released because of soft on crime policies. They get released so that they can then criminalize more people. And of course, that statistic is then placed as a blanket over the rest of us. Even if majority of us are not out here committing crimes, when you have a small faction of people that keep getting re-released into society so they can commit more crimes, then that number is going to be inflated. Whereas if you left their ass locked up or took out the trash, the numbers will be much lower because a lot of times these are repeat offenders. They go out, they harm somebody, they get locked up for a little bit, they get a slap on the wrist, they get released so they can harm somebody else. This is not an effective policy. That's why Democrat-ran cities are the most dangerous. Then they have the nerve to get mad at Trump for sending the National Guard. You literally want your people to live in a war zone because you're not wanting a solution to the problem. So black people, stop it. Stop hyping up these pro-black liberal media bullshit because it's not pro-black at all. It's actually quite anti-black. They are the ones who put the battery in the backs of other people to hate us because we don't want to hold ourselves accountable when we need to be held accountable. And I want to make sure I make this clear. Saying that someone's mentally ill isn't an excuse, right? I wouldn't say that that's an excuse, and it's an acknowledgement of the truth, because if we're able to say that the trans individual that shot up the school was mentally ill, that all these other people are mentally ill, it's okay to recognize that there are black people that are mentally ill. With that being said, his mentally ill ass shouldn't have been on the streets. His rap sheet is as long as a CVS receipt. Why is he out on the street with the rest of us? The more we continue to associate blackness with criminality, the more people are going to be fatigued with us. The more people are going to be side-eyeing us when we're in the wild. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't need people looking at me crazy because the rest of y'all don't want to hold our criminals accountable. You're making things dangerous for all of us. And they know what they're doing. Especially these liberal media outlets. They are the most anti-black. They hate you. They hate me. They hate us. That's why they'll sit over here and say crazy stuff like, oh, well, if we release the footage, it's going to make people more racist. What are you communicating when you say that? And this reminds me of what's going on in the UK. We have all of these little girls being attacked, but when people point out who's attacking them, they call them bigots and arrest them. This is what it reminds me of. How it's somehow bad to call out who's doing this, but we're not holding the people that's actually doing the crime accountable. So black people, please hear me when I tell you this. Stop putting on the cape for our ratchets. Put them out on Jump Street where they belong. Stop sitting here running interference for those of us who cause chaos in society. Because the more we do that, the more it's going to be a reflection on all of us. If we continue to protect and cape for violent criminals, that's exactly what our community is going to be viewed as. A bunch of violent, deranged, savage criminals. Liberal media is not your friend. They are not protecting you by not publishing and talking and having honest conversations about these topics. They are not helping you. They're not keeping you safe. In fact, they're making it a lot more dangerous for all of us. Because if we as a community were loud and proud about our stance against criminals, then they wouldn't be able to say that black culture is degenerate. They wouldn't be able to say that black culture is criminal behavior, because we as a culture would be holding our ratchets accountable, holding our mentally ill accountable, holding our criminals accountable. I want us to have a safe community for everybody, because if we're being honest, it's mostly us, other black people, that suffer because of our own criminals. But y'all don't give a damn about that, do you? You don't care. You don't care about the little black girls that get shot up walking home from school. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care about the little black boys getting forced into gangs because their community is running rampant with them. Y'all don't care. It's all about D-white man. Honestly, it's so frustrating because there are things that should be getting addressed within society, but we can't get to that point because dumb niggas want to hog the microphone and be on some Hotep babble bullshit. I'm sick of it. And honestly, if you want to get in my comment section and thumb thug about how I'm being so anti-Black, understand you're the anti-Black person. That's you, because you don't want better for us. You want us to continue to do the same behaviors and get the same outcomes or worse outcomes. I'm saying we need to move better. We need to start by cleaning house, holding ourselves accountable, showing up in the world much better, cleaning up our culture, cleaning up our streets, so that we can be taken seriously. Because right now we're a joke, and not even a good joke, a dangerous one. We're literally playing a dangerous game. So please stop with the foolishness. Hold each other accountable, because we have a community, we have a society, and if our society is gonna be run rampant by criminals and turn into Gotham City, all of us are going to suffer. But y'all, I am curious to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I stand 10 toes down on what I said in this video. You can thumb thug in the comment section all you want, but I'm so for real with what I'm saying. Stop caping for criminals just because they're Black. Hold they ass accountable, because they're the ones harming the community. They're the ones making the block hot for all of us. Y'all, I'll see you with the next one. Deuces.